What's going on with y'all boys? What's going on with y'all boys? It's your boy Entities I. We're back with some more DBD. Now, I was on YouTube, right? I was editing a video, and I came across this video. It's that man Evilvora. He's reacting to something that SpooknJukes said. I guess the topic was something about in-game toxicity. I'm acting like it's not right there. We're gonna react to what they're saying, and I'm gonna see whose side I agree with more. I did watch a little bit. I'm not even gonna cap to y'all. I did watch a little bit of it, and I was agreeing more with Evilvora's side, but I had to stop watching it because I'm like, you know what? Let me make this into a video. And I know it's a little different. It's a little different. I don't have a mask on. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I didn't. Well, I have some form of hiding, but I don't have a thing covering my mouth. It's too hot for that. I didn't feel like doing it today. So this is the best y'all gonna get. Hat, sunglasses. But yeah, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. The SpooknJukes video is gonna be in the description, and Evilvora's reaction that what we're using right now will also be in the description.
Or review and react to. The original video will be in the description below along with my Twitch. I stream every night. Make sure you guys are subscribed. If you're not subscribed yet, we're so close to 4,000. I'm already prepared to lose a few viewers with this video. It's completely fine with me. I gotta be honest. Without further ado, let's get straight into the video.
So tell me why you think BMing or in-game actions like that are toxic.
So BMing is bad manners. Pretty much teabagging and hitting on hook.
Okay, I do want to start out with one thing to get like a mutual understanding between us of what we consider is BM. My ideology of it is that something that is not a strategy. So teabagging at a pallet to get the killer's attention on you is not BM. That could be argued to be
any form of teabag is BM because rage baiting the killer into chasing you. First of all, DBD is a very asymmetrical game, extremely survivor-sided, especially now more than ever. I played Survivor in tournaments and played Killer in tournaments. The game is extremely survivor-sided.
Extremely, I agree.
And it's asymmetrical. There's 4 people teabagging one killer. It's not a good feeling from the killer's standpoint. And then that's a good excuse to make you seem like a better human being when you realize that you're just trying to bully a baby killer. Oh, I'm going to teabag him. Oh, but I'm doing it just so he'll continue to chase me. That's a fucking excuse. Teabagging under any circumstance is extremely wrong, and it is toxic.
And I'm going to say it now as a killer main myself. Bro, that is teabagging is extremely like it's this. I'm gonna be kind of repeating a lot of what he says, but it's he like he's not wrong though. You get what I'm saying? Like teabagging, no matter what the case is, it's toxic. It's not cool. It's not cool at all. It's like you when you play as a killer, and let's just say off of the example he used, like let's say you're a survivor and you see the killer chasing a Meg or something, and you see the Meg not doing good, for example, and you know, and then the killer's taking advantage of it, right? Whatever, just normal gameplay. The killer's not playing toxic at all, just taking advantage of their mistakes. And you see Dwight in the corner just teabagging to get their attention. Like, bro, that Dwight is being toxic. You can't sit here and tell me that's a strategy style. You know what I'm saying?
strategy. Stuff that has strategic nuance to it, completely out of the picture. So stuff like waiting at an exit gate until the timer is literally frames from ending and then leaving to waste time, or teabagging at the killer at the exit gate, or on the killer side, WSing people or hitting them on hook multiple times or bleeding them out to make sure they can't abandon while keeping a bot alive, etc., etc.
Hitting on hook is also toxic.
It is. I'm not
There's
gonna lie.
only one excuse from a killer main to, if you're watching this, another killer main, that I would accept to say that you should be hitting on hook. And that's only if the survivors teabag you first. Hitting on hook for no reason is toxic.
That is true. And I'm going to take accountability, because if some of y'all that watch my videos, y'all might see me do it. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little toxic myself. I'm not going to lie. So, and I'll first and foremost say, if you've came across my videos and I hate you and you actually weren't toxic to me, I do apologize. But if we're going off of his example where you were being toxic first, teabagging and etc. and whatever else counts as toxicity, and I did it back, I don't apologize. Should have never did it to me. Simple as that.
Okay?
Well, wait,
My
if somebody was on the ground and there was a bot in the match, I think that person could still abandon. If the rest of the players are bots, I think they can abandon, right?
If I recall correctly, if someone else has died in the match, it doesn't let you abandon in that case.
Oh,
But
interesting.
they could have fixed this earlier, but I know some people were just intentionally still slugging through that. They probably fixed it.
Slugging is not toxic. I don't know if he probably means extreme slugging, which still isn't toxic. It's a strategy. As long as you're not BMing, like going behind a survivor and doing you guys know what, or hitting on hook, it's all a strategy.
I'm so glad he said that. I've been playing this game on and off since 2017, and everybody and their mama, from my IRL homies to the community to people I just play the game with, like on some random stuff when I'm not recording or something, every survivor whines and complains about slugging and tunneling. Bro, it's a strategy. I thought I muted myself. It's a strat. Like, that's just something I do. Like, it's 4 of y'all versus me. And on top of that, y'all have perks that counter slugging and tunneling. So why do y'all still sit here and complain? Y'all have like over 30 perks that counter slugging and tunneling. So why are we still in the big 26 making slugging and tunneling a big deal? It's not a big deal at all. If anything, if a killer is tunneling a certain person, one person, that means the other 3 of y'all, if you're smart, you should be knocking out those generators while he's tunneling that one survivor. Tunneling to a certain degree, depending on how it's, like done, can help y'all if you think about it, if you really think about it. So I don't, like I said, we need to end that mindset, bro. It's not, no.
I got you. Okay.
But
Playing for pressure as killer, tunneling, proxying, and slugging are not, because those are in actual strategies that killers can use that survivors can counter with many, many, many different things. Break a boon, made for this, unbreakable. I mean, conviction. There's so many different counters to that. Countering teabagging and a survivor pretty much saying you suck, or from a survivor point of view, being hit on hook for no reason, that's toxic.
So from my opinion,
that's like a killer's way of saying you
teabagging
suck.
at the gate, hitting on hook, WSing, none of that is toxic.
Okay.
I think if you want to
I disagree.
I
I disagree. There's too many new killer mains on Dead by Daylight who have the courage to step in the fog and play killer from an asymmetrical, extremely survivor-sided game. And I do play both sides, so I have the right to make that type of take. Being teabagged by 4 different people while you're in there by yourself, you have nobody there to say, hey, it's okay. When they, it simply isn't right. And it is toxic. You're doing that to try to ruin somebody's day and tell them that they suck.
call it bad manners, if you want to call it rude or annoying or bad sportsmanship, I think that's totally fine. I do not agree that it's toxic, and I think using that word for such things, in my opinion, is rather silly.
I understand that, yeah. Of course, it's not as bad as telling people to, off themselves or other extremities like that in endgame chat.
Toxic is toxic. There's not, oh, this is a little less toxic than this. If it's toxic, it's toxic. If it's toxic in the in-game chat, it's still wrong. If it's toxic in-game teabagging, everybody in here knows, everybody watching this video knows what teabagging means. Everybody in this video knows what hitting on hook means. It means you suck. That's what it means. Whether you're trying to say, oh, I'm doing it so the killer will chase me, you're still trying to rage bait him into thinking, wow, this person's disrespect. It's a form of disrespect, which, whether that's in-game chat or like end-game chat or in-game actions, it's still toxic and it's still extremely wrong.
And just to bounce off of what he said, when he said earlier about toxic is toxic, it's the fact that like the way SpooknJukes is talking is, and just people in general, but we don't say SpooknJukes is talking, like there's like tier lists to toxicity. There shouldn't be a level. There shouldn't be tier lists. There shouldn't be levels. It's toxic is toxic. If I message you on PlayStation and say you suck and this and that, that's toxic. Or if they message me back and they put it in all caps, no, you suck. One's not less toxic than the other because one was uppercase and one was lowercase. Toxic is toxic. Or if I lose and that person messages me with a dookie emote or whatever, and that's all they send, that's still toxic. You know what I'm saying? Or like if you have, or in, like you said in the end game chat, if you say some like condescending message or whatever, it's still toxic. So toxic is toxic, man. I don't know why. That's another thing we all in the community, well, not we, but some people in the community try to be like, well, that's not as toxic as this. No, it's still bad.
How about we
Whether
just
it's
play the
killer or
game?
survivor.
It's more or less on the aspect of it's.
And then he says, Spook says, waiting at the in-game chat and teabagging is not toxic.
Yes, that is.
Don't please, like, listen, don't normalize that. That's
Please don't.
completely wrong. And, you know, I know this dude has a lot, you know, has a pretty decent fan.
I'm sorry to keep pausing, but bro, please don't normalize it. Like I know he's gonna like. I watched up to like 19 minutes of this. I think his video is like 30 minutes of him reacting, but I watched up to like 19 minutes. So yeah, me and him are gonna say almost very similar things. But bro, please do not normalize teabagging at the end gate. Like I can't tell y'all how many times I play and I run into survivors that, whether they're good or bad or mediocre, right? Whatever place you want to put them in, right? They beat me. Cool, whatever. I get mad, I get pissed. I'm like, damn, Gen Rush, right? Whatever, cool. And then they just wait until the literal last microsecond of a bar. Like, we talking like these. And they just waiting. And I'm not even there. I already, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not even there because I already know what to expect. I already know that, oh, if I go up to those four, they're just going to, you know, and all that, and they try to flashlight me and this and that and point at me and go, you know, like, they go do all that toxic stuff. Like, bro, just leave. So it's like, that is extremely toxic. And then it's like, you got to think, as a killer main and you see that, like, that's going to infuriate you, bro. And the fact that SpooknJukes is really trying to sit here and say it's not, I feel like that's BS, bro. I really feel like he's trying to appease to a certain crowd or something, not trying to, you know, or maybe he's obviously older. He's obviously older, and maybe he was like he's used to the older times, I guess you could say.
Fan base. Normalizing behavior like that is wrong. It's very, even though you don't view it as toxic, it's very, you know, discouraging for killers to play their heart out. Especially, you know, most people aren't playing Nurse and Blight. If you're not playing Nurse and Blight, you're probably struggling in a lot of your matches, unless you're a killer main, a strict killer main. Only to be, you know, for people to wait the in-game timer. So why sit there and teabag a killer? How is that not toxic? Why? What's the point in doing that? They try their fucking hardest and have to walk all the way to the exit gates just to see you teabag, pretty much tell them they suck. How is that not toxic?
Not really great for the vibe and environment of the game or the health of the community.
I mean, in any kind of environment where it's player versus player, whether it be competitive or not, these things are always going to exist. I mean, people in professional sports
Comment, I agree.
taunt each other, and if
One
it's
more thing, I don't mean to keep pausing the video, but another thing that I'm not really liking about this video and the way that he's acting like this stuff isn't toxic is because this right here is extremely a toxic take, because it is super discouraging. But not only that, it causes what I like to call killer anxiety, which is the biggest problem in Dead by Daylight right now. People are afraid to play killer because of toxic behavior. People come to my stream every single day saying, oh man, I got teabagged at the gate. Oh this, oh that, oh this, oh that. In-game chat this. Why do survivors wait until the timer runs out? And I have to break them the fucking truth, because people in this world are toxic. People in this world want to make you feel bad. And it's just completely wrong. And this take is just completely, it's a terrible take in my opinion. I thought he was going to be the one saying that killer playing like that is toxic, because I don't know who he's talking to, but he's the bigger streamer in this situation. I wouldn't promote toxicity. And if you watch this, you don't always have to agree with your favorite streamers on everything, because it's just morally wrong to try to disrespect somebody and act like it isn't toxic.
My fault. I didn't mean to keep interrupting my damn self. But yeah, SpooknJukes normally has better takes than this. He normally has pretty decent to good takes. This one, I'm not rocking with this one, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I can't.
extreme taunting and vulgarity, like, they get penalized for it. But if it's not anything serious, I mean, if it's okay with you, I'm actually gonna. Can I show you an example that I actually had ready for this?
Sure, go
If you
ahead.
wanna pull up my
I do
screen.
have a counterpoint to that, if real quick, if you'd like me
Yeah,
to point out.
Well, here, let me just show it, and then we can get to the counterpoint, because...
Sure, I have to. Is it on stream or are you showing it in the
Yeah.
Discord?
So this is... I'm showing 2 examples here of,
Okay.
BMing in professional sports. So here's one example.
There's both.
Okay.
There it is.
Now, this guy actually...
Hold on, let me move my camera. Okay, so you guys can see. I'll move it back up.
teabags like he's in Halo.
Jones may have jumped on top of the football. He did. Joey Bosa.
And then he goes prone. So, absolutely legendary. Does not get penalized for that. Totally fine. And then another example would be this one. So this is kind of like teabagging in the gate, this one. So he knows he's going to score a touchdown, and look what he does.
So because, professional, mind you, this isn't asymmetrical like Dead by Daylight. There's 11 versus 11 in a football game. Dead by Daylight, there's 1 versus 4. So when you have 4 sets of people teabagging and there's nothing you could do at the exit gates, and this is IRL stuff as well. You can retaliate if you wanted to. Obviously, I wouldn't promote it. But
Literally, you could.
Some of the in-game chats and teabagging like that, like, you can't really do anything about it because it's a video game. But
And to bounce off of that part where he said the IRL, like this is IRL, let's not talk about the times where all of that taunting, like we could take the football, the NFL, for example. Let's not talk about the times where some of these NFL players have taunted and some of these other NFL players did not like their taunting. Let's not talk about how, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's not talk about how they actually was trying to with them over these things. So it's like, that kind of counters what he's talking about. Like this is just one clip of many to show like they're not doing nothing to this guy about his taunting, but taunting even in the professional, sports can piss people off. Like I'm sure y'all can find a plethora of compilations of whether it's hockey, football, baseball, basketball, where a player is taunting and they get or something, or they get flagged or some flag carded, penalized, pushed, shoved, hit, whatever. There's somewhere that shows that. So this is, I don't know. I think it still goes like this would still count as being toxic, to be honest. Like it's a joking toxic, but like I said earlier, like you can't just categorize toxic. This is still toxic though.
this is IRL stuff. First of all, it's not asymmetrical. But even if it, wasn't, say, just forget all the takes that I just had. This isn't right either. Just because professional people do it doesn't mean it's not toxic. It's people being unhumble and being too egotistical. Just because they do it doesn't make it right.
Word, but I get what
Just because they do it in football, that wasn't really a good point.
For the touchdown.
He looks back at everybody there,
that was a strong word.
does a big, ha, I'm scoring a touchdown, and falls backwards into there. Again, not getting penalized.
That doesn't make it right though. Haha, I'm better. We can't promote that type of energy, bro. We can't.
So the way that I see it is, if in professional sports where grown-up athletes can do things like this, like little in-game, I look at it as in-game banter, in-game trash talk, whatever, as long as it's not super extreme or like against the rules, which teabagging, any of that stuff is not against the rules. As long as it's just like in-game banter stuff, it should not be considered toxic, in my opinion. If you want to call it bad sportsmanship or taunting, things like that.
Bad sportsmanship is bad manners is toxic, in DBD terms. Like, man, I'm just disappointed in this video for the simple reason that people that are watching this video and that look up to him, they're really gonna start doing this now and think that they're not being toxic. And honestly, God, it's just causing more killer anxiety within Dead by Daylight. And before you know it, nobody's ever gonna want to play killer. I'm gonna be the only killer on the servers.
Hey, me and
Totally
you both,
fine
bro.
with
I'm
that.
still gonna rock
I think
with
as soon as we escalate it to being toxic, I think we're getting silly with it, personally.
So I actually do have this on my Word document as like a counterpoint that could have been brought up.
Okay.
So, in the context of that, that's a professional sport between people in real life where it's normalized and socially acceptable. For online video games like Dead by Daylight, you're just random people trying to chill up, like on a favorite game. It's not like you're in front of a crowd trying to put on a show. You're just five random people playing a game that no one's going to remember the next day.
I completely disagree. I think that teabagging or BMing or anything has been normalized and part of online gaming culture almost since its inception. And back when I played Halo 2 and Halo 3,
And it doesn't make it good, and it doesn't make it good to promote that it's okay to do. And listen, I'm a killer man with extremely thick skin, and the reason that this topic is I'm so passionate about this is because so many people come to the game and say, what killer should I get? I'm new. And I don't want to break them the news. Survivors are just fucking losers. They want to sit there and teabag you. Why not just say, yes, it's toxic? Just, do you want people to, like, I just don't get it. He's kind of pushing people. I just hope we don't see more of this behavior after this video.
I'm gonna bounce off another point on what Evilvora just said. Like, I know he stopped himself, but when he said he's just pushing people, like, if he not gonna say it, I'm gonna say it. I know he's implying it / already is saying it, but I'm gonna say it. SpooknJukes, you pushing people to be toxic just because you don't see it as toxic. I'm gonna just call it what it is, bro. I fuck with your content and everything, but you pushing people to toxicness. I don't know why you feel like it teabagging at the gate, teabagging and all that stuff like that's been said in the video is not toxic. I don't know why you're saying this and you feel this way. Like, you're entitled to feel how you feel, obviously, but I don't know why it's not clicking in your brain. You're a smart dude, bro. I know you a smart man, bro. Why are you saying this? You know you got a pretty big fan base, bro. You really gonna have people that think it's okay. And, like, this generation is already very influenceable. I don't know if that's a word, but it's easy to influence them, especially if you're a big content creator. It's very easy to influence them, bro. You have a voice. Why are you saying this? Like,
in Call of Duty, I never once ever got called toxic for teabagging or going prone over somebody's body. Nobody ever called it toxic. People called the slurs and voice chat and sending messages, and people called that shit toxic, or saying racist shit. That's what people called toxic. It's not until recently that all of a sudden people are calling, like, gesturing, like pointing at you, or, I mean, for the love of God, we have a Fortnite, which is a kid-friendly game where you can do all kinds of super disrespectful dances on somebody while they're downed on the ground or after you kill them, and children, literal children, are able to.
And a quick side note, I will say, I get where he's coming from with that MW2 part, but bro, you can't. To people that know, comparing DBD to MW, Prime MW, that's like apples to oranges. That's a whole different level of, like, toxicity. Like, that's just a quick side note I have to say. That's like, that, comparing those two is crazy, bro. And even, and like, I used to play during the MW2 times, and I disagree with him again where he said, like, oh, when he used to play, teabagging and all that wasn't deemed as toxic. Bro, yes, that was. MW2 back in the day, that was still as toxic. Like, if you really played Prime MW2 and you ask any OG, hey, do you remember how MW2 was? They will proceed to say, bro, that game was lit, blah, 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 but man, was it toxic? And they'll name the slurs like he said. They'll name the teabagging, the noob tubing, everything that was deemed as toxic back then. Bro, teabagging was normalized in MW2, but they were still deeming it as toxic. It just wasn't as toxic as getting hit with the slurs and the noob tubing and things like that and things of that nature. Teabagging back then was still toxic, bro. And maybe it was just the people you were around, SpooknJukes, that didn't deem it like that. But majority of people that I was around, they deemed that as toxic, bro. Maybe that's just different circle of groups, circle of friends or whatever. Y'all deemed as this, y'all deemed as that. That's cool too. But teabagging, for the most part, in my opinion, no matter what game it was, that still fell under toxic, bro.
Deal with that and be okay. And so if that is fine, then I think in Dead by Daylight, somebody's simply crouching up and down, even if it's at the exit gate.
So, SpooknJukes, if you ever come across this video, I want you to answer me this question. Whenever you play killer, because I'm sure you play both sides, and you get a 4-man, or when you first started playing killer, when you first started playing DBD, and you got your first 4-man team that was teabagging you and you didn't really know how to play killer, how did it make you feel? You were probably deep down super upset and discouraged, and you were like, man, why are they teabagging me? I'm trying my best. You didn't say, it's just part of the game. No, you're feeling down about it. Nobody likes to get teabagged.
Nobody. I
think
still don't.
we should be able to handle that and not be so far as to escalate it to being toxic, because I don't think it's that severe.
I think our definition of like the word toxic is getting a bit overstretched here. I'm not saying it's like toxic, like abusive, of like, you know, telling people to off themselves or
but why
Modern
you
Warfare 2 trash talk.
But that's
we live in a world where, man, we live in a world where people just can't be decent. Why are we promoting teabagging at the exit gates?
Because negativity sells, bro. Negativity will always sell. Negativity will always thrive, bro. Positivity don't really thrive. And if it does, it's for a short time, and then that negativity gets to that positivity. Negativity sells. Negativity rules the world, bro. As fucked up as that sounds.
You know how Survivor side of the game is. I know you do, because you're a content creator. Why would you promote something like this, man? I get you want to have a different take, and it's just flat wrong, dude. It really is.
But
if you're watching this video right now and you're a survivor who likes to teabag a bad killer or a new killer and discourage him from playing killer, you're part of the problem as well.
100%.
That's my problem, though, is why does everything have to fall under the umbrella of that word? Because it never used to be that way. There's other words to describe those things that don't sound as severe as toxic.
SpooknJukes, let me ask you a question then. If you feel like there's better words to describe, you know, what you named, the teabag slurs, XYZ, right, of DBD, what are the words? What else if it's not deemed as toxic to you? If you do come across this video, like Evilvora said, if you do come across this video, what would you call? What's a better word for toxic then? If it's not toxic to you, if you wouldn't use the word toxic, what word would you use? I'm very curious. If you ever do come across this video, of course.
And if there was a better word for it that can be better brushed on it, great. It's more or less, I'm arguing that it's a certain subsection. Like, it's still bad, not as bad as the other things, but still kind of bad.
I just don't understand how in the hell teabagging a killer is not toxic. I'm still trying to wrap my mind around that. It's
for the community and the health of it itself.
Yeah, I don't agree. I don't agree. I think if that was true, I think teabagging at the gate would be a reportable offense if that was the case.
Is it not?
I don't think it should be reportable. I'd argue there should be some form of like in-game punishments, like what the judgment's bringing.
I mean, I think that is awesome that they're doing that with that specific killer. I think it's hilarious, and anybody who's mad about it.
Exactly, and like with the judgment coming, it punishes teabags, which tells you, even though behavior slacks, they even understand that teabagging is negative. Even behavior acknowledges that teabagging is negative. That should tell you everything you need to know.
Is really silly. I don't think that should be. I don't think that should be a thing that every killer has, and that everybody should be punished for.
Not to that extent. If not affecting the gameplay, it's more or less just like a little funny ha-ha moment. Like, let's say you have a survivor who's hanging in the exit gate for like 20 seconds.
I mentioned.
Sorry,
I mentioned this earlier, and I just feel like even if you're trying to like make it a version, like a branch of toxicity, like when you call it toxic, all that does is give people the ammunition to like make you feel like a bad toxic person. People will literally make you feel like you were just as toxic as if you had called them a slur or told them to off themselves because you teabag. The way that people do.
No, they don't. And you should feel You shouldn't feel happy teabagging a person. Why do we live in a world where you feel happy taunting and telling a person that they're not good at a game?
Negativity sells.
And the same
bro.
people teabagging are the same people in the in-game chat.
Negativity sells and misery loves company, bro. Simple.
Saying GG easy and stuff like that are the same. There's a reason that killer anxiety exists in Dead by Daylight. These aren't good points in my opinion. He's kind of making his argument a little worse by saying stuff like this. It is wrong. Whether you're in the in-game chat or just teabagging in-game or hitting on hook, it's all a form of toxicity.
Call outs on Twitter, the way that people act in this community, like when people call things toxic, that it gives them that power.
He just said, why would we feel bad? Why should we make people feel bad about teabagging a killer?
What? Did he really say? Did I miss over that? Hold on.
Or to give, when people call things toxic, that it gives them that power.
He just said, why would we feel bad? Why should we make people feel bad about teabagging a killer?
Did I miss that? Or is he implying that?
Or to give power to teabag, to make it seem like it's this awful thing that you can equate to those actual bad things. And so I think to take that away, to bring the severity down to where it belongs, we should call it something else. We should call it taunting. We should call it bad sportsmanship. We should call it annoying. Like, there's other less severe words, because when I think of toxic, I'm thinking of Call of Duty voice chat. I'm thinking of people saying slurs in the endgame chat, or telling me to off myself, or like viewer shaming streamers, all of the really toxic things. And I just think that.
Wait a minute. He said he deems toxic, like if you had to put stuff in a category of toxic, he deems the slurs, the viewer stuff, that's toxic. So, I'm having a hard time understanding this because, bro, that's toxic 100%. But it's like that. Am I tripping for saying this? Is he not contradicting himself by saying like that toxic shouldn't be? No. Am I tripping or am I confusing myself on my own? I'm confused. I'm confused right now. Hold on.
I just don't know why we have to call all these things toxic. Like, we should just reserve the toxic things for toxic and the annoying things for annoying.
Honestly,
The reason that, and this is my whole argument in this situation, the reason that, and I see what he's trying to say, he's saying, oh, it's annoying, it's not toxic. When you know damn well when you play killer and you get teabagged, it doesn't feel good. But the reason that I say, and I know that it's toxic, I'm not even going to just try to argue it, is for the simple reason that it causes actual anxiety. It causes people to suffer with something called killer anxiety, heart palpitations. When they get into a killer match, they feel completely powerless, they feel completely terrible, and they have anxiety and they never want to touch killer again. It's just a bad experience. But it actually, a video games is supposed to be fun.
Thank you for explaining that, Vora. Thank you for explaining that so much better, because that I do agree. I do agree. Maybe not to like that deep of an understanding, but I understand what he's saying, because I'm gonna speak for me. Teabagging don't get me that deep, that bad, but it is annoying. Like I said, I agree with both sides on this part. Like, teabagging would fall under annoying. If you're the person that doesn't want to call it toxic, sure, call it annoying. But I also see when the way Vora explains it. Oh, because the killer anxiety, the palpatine, the heart palps, or however he worded it. There actually is some people that I guess do feel like that or get like that when they do see certain forms of toxicity in DBD, like the teabagging, for example. Some people do feel defeated, whether you're especially when you're at like 2 generators with like 3 hooks, 2 generators with 3 hooks, yeah, and you get like you run into 2 survivors and they're already teabagging and things like that. So yeah, I could see that.
That's just how video games are set. But when a video game gives you heart palpitations, like what people told me in the chat, or actual anxiety to where they don't even want to play the game anymore, it's fucking toxic, no matter what way you want to put it.
It is.
I think it's probably better.
You shouldn't promote it. Anxiety is something that I wish on no one. And I would never be the reason. As a killer main who wins I would say probably 90% of my matches, at least 85, I don't BM people when I could. Just because I kill a team doesn't mean I'm going to hit them on hook because I did better than them that round. Why would I do that? It's toxic. Why would I want to ruin somebody's... I mean, I just beat them and go to the next. I'm not going to... And then when I play Survivor and I go on escape streaks, I'm not teabagging the killer on the way out. Why would I do that? I'm going to be a decent human and a kind human being who has compassion from the other side and who can see, myself in other people's shoes and know that why would I ruin their day? Because if I was in their shoes and I had a bad match, I wouldn't want people teabagging me. It's about being a decent human and having compassion and calling a spade a spade. If it's toxic, it's fucking toxic.
That's a fact. That's
better to call the worst shit for what it is.
Can't even lie. That's a bar.
Rather than just calling, teabagging at the gate toxic. I see where you're coming from, that it can be misconstrued into being worse than it is.
It's like, let me give you an example. If you had a bad relationship with somebody, like you guys just didn't get along, you didn't vibe, like say you were in a relationship with somebody and it didn't work out, you would just say, yeah, we had a bad relationship. It was not a good relationship. However, if that person was mentally abusive to you, was physically abusive to you, was like actually harmful to you, you would call that a toxic relationship.
If it's a bad relationship, I mean, somebody correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. And if it's a bad relationship, that means something about it didn't work out. Like you said, there could have been something going on mentally. If it's bad, that's one thing. If y'all just had a falling out for no reason, like we just not into each other anymore, that's one thing. But he said, in his words, a bad relationship, which means something about the relationship was unhealthy. Maybe the communication, you argued a lot. Maybe your partner wanted to hang around the opposite, your guy wanted to hang around girls and your girlfriend wanted to hang around her guy friends. Or maybe it was mentally draining. Maybe it was there was something about the relationship that wasn't healthy. So somewhere within that relationship, there was a form of toxicity.
Because that's what that is. It's being toxic is, you see what I'm saying? Like that's where.
Again, this is another point where I'm like, I see both sides again. Now SpooknJukes is starting to make a little bit more sense now, but I see both sides. I see where SpooknJukes talk about some, certain things happen in a relationship, depending what happens, it falls under bad relationship. But I also see where Vora is talking about where regardless of whatever it may have been, whether it was mental, physical, or communication, or like he said, like we'll just use the examples he said, the boyfriend wanted to hang out with girls and the girl wanted to hang out with boys. I could see how that also falls as some form of toxicity because boundaries were crossed and one person didn't like it. So yeah, I can see both sides.
And I hear girls going around saying, even and guys too, saying the littlest things in a relationship. Oh, he was so toxic, she was so toxic. He's acting like people throw around toxic.
Facts.
They should, like, toxic is such a big word that people don't throw around. Bro, people throw the word toxic around literally like it's nothing.
Oh God.
He's trying to say, oh well, it's bad, but it's not toxic. Call a spade, Brody. That's all I'm asking.
Toxicity.
He's not wrong, yo. Did people, me included, I'll be real, me included, calls anything, the slightest inconvenience, the slightest anything, people will call it toxic. It don't matter. You get a neck tattoo, and someone sees it, a female see it or a male see it, they're like, oh my God, you got a neck tattoo, you're toxic. They see you with some Jordans on, oh my God, you got Jordans, you're toxic. They see you in a certain type of car, all of a sudden you toxic. If you pop up in a Mercedes or something, oh my God, you're a toxic. You know what I'm saying? So that's 100% true, bro.
Because there's other words for things that aren't toxic. Like something can be bad or feel kind of shitty or feel not right or just be annoying or again, whatever. But when I think of toxicity, I think of that.
In that sort of case, though, people that I've grown up with in high school called an abusive relationship. They've only really said if it's toxic, if it's hostile, but not in a mentally abusive sort of way. It's more like just you had petty disagreements all the time.
Yeah, chat. I think I'm gonna call it right there because
He's-
we went from talking to DBD to relationships to
No, that's a fair
football.
point.
In all ways, I just don't feel like he proved a good point.
Fair.
If
fair
anything,
point.
he proved a bad point. He pretty much proved that you should keep teabagging. You should keep doing these in-game actions that every single person in this chat knows are mean. You know, I play killer, and when I'm winning, I'm not gonna just be straight up rude to you. You know, unless you are rude to me first, then I will be, retaliate. But I'm not gonna start off something and because I have, I'm a decent human and I can see from their point of view, they didn't have the best looping. Maybe they just woke up. Maybe they did just get home. And there are killer players that play DBD who really are just casual players. They probably had. You never know what type of.
All right, yeah, that's go. Yeah, that's go do it for me. He's no disrespect, but he's kind of just rambling at this point. But I get where he's coming from with it. But yeah, like you said, we gonna cut it. They talk about relationships and stuff like that. Yeah, we're not here for all that. But long story short, I mostly agree with Vora on his end. There were some things. It was mostly Vora I was agreeing with, or it was I understand both sides. There really wasn't much I was agreeing with on SpooknJukes side. Personally, bro, I think you're tripping. You're allowed to feel how you feel, blah blah blah, da da da, whatever. But I wholeheartedly disagree with your take on what's deemed as toxic, what's not toxic. I wholeheartedly disagree with this. But Vora, you got a thumbs up for me, my brother. Keep doing your thing, bro. If you come across this video, W video, bro. Y'all make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Check that man Vora out, and I'll catch you on the next one. I'm out.